morning. So today is just Saturday and we had a pretty lazy morning. I am gonna do a pretty laid back reading vlog this week. It's just gonna be a week in the life, like what's a normal week look like for me. And so I started off with propagating some plants because I have a ton of plants that I need to repot. And so I have a Monstera adenosi that was getting very leggy and very viney, and so I just like scrapped the plant because it was pretty root bound and took cuttings, and I'm going to repot them once they root. So I did that. I ordered some more pots because I have a snake plant that's a monster and I need, like, it's now in little clumps, so I need to repot that. You're gonna hear my husband and my son singing Blippi. And then once it's cold here, so once it gets warmer, like once we kind of get more towards summer, I'll move a bunch of my tropical plants out to my patio to naturally grow in the summer, and then I'll bring them back inside later. But with winter, I had to repot a lot of stuff, and I will continue to have to pot. Like, this is a pot house and it's just kind of a monster, but I'm waiting for summer to repot. And this one I usually take outside. It loves hot, but it likes to be in shade. Like, it doesn't want direct sunlight. So this one definitely need to do something with. I just haven't decided what yet. Okay. So for my laid back week, I'm going to talk about the 3 books I'm going to be reading this week. Maybe more. I am a mood reader, so I always tend to add more than I want. But for the Modern Mrs. Darcy book club, I'm going to continue reading Unlikely Animals. This is such a quirky book, and it has a really fun narrator. It is about a girl who moved away, and her dad is like, he has dementia or something. So he has dementia and she needs to come home to help him. He's seeing wild animals. There's also a ghost in this story that is like the real life Dr. Dolittle that was in New Hampshire at one point, and the author was writing this book and then discovered this character and then like changed the whole book. So this is just so fun and quirky. I am loving it. If you know me at all, like weird, quirky, quiet novels, more introspective, family dramas, love them. So this one has about everything in it. That means I will love it. And then I'm reading Queenie on both audio and then as a hardcover. This is one of my book of the month books that I'm trying to read. I read Mama in February and I loved it. This book is giving me similar vibes, but much more grittier, not as endearing of a main character. In Mama, the main character is just trying to like grow into herself and figure that out. Same for Queenie, except Queenie is making really terrible decisions repeatedly. And she's a Jamaican main character, whereas the other character was in Ghana. But this is like extremely raw. She's making extremely bad decisions as far as her relationships. And I'm just kind of stressed out by her, to be honest. But it's good. I think Mama is still way better, but I am really liking this. It's just really hard and annoying to read because I don't agree with the main character. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of where I'm at with this one. And then the other book I need to have read by next Saturday for the Des Moines Book Festival is Glory by Noviole Bulawayo. And this was nominated, it was shortlisted for the Booker, and I know it's gotten nominated for the International Women's Prize. So this book is it chronicles the fall of the Old Horse, the long-serving leader of a fictional country, and follows a rambunctious nation of animals on a path toward liberation. Inspired by the unexpected fall by coup in November 2017 of Mugabe, Zimbabwe's president of nearly 4 decades, Glory shows a country's imploding, narrated by a chorus of animal voices. So it's narrated by animals, but they all have human-like qualities. I've only read a chapter. It's very different and very literary. So I'm promoting our DSM Book Festival, and they sent one of the books from one of the headlining authors. This is the one I got, and they want us to have it read by the weekend and then like to post a review and promote the festival. So I'm really trying to focus. It's just so literary that it's a slow read. It's good. It's beautiful writing, but it's one that like I need to read slowly and I need to comprehend it. And like, this is what you would read in like college to study literary devices. Kind of giving me Animal Farm vibes because it's written from the perspective of animals, but all in all good. It's just super different. I know Kayla from Books and Lala really liked it. It's like on one of her recommended like picture things that she does. So, but yeah, so this week you're just going to see a lot of normal content interspersed with reading. Just going to do a vlog and kind of see where it takes me. So bye everybody. Good morning. So I got my hair cut, and this happens to me every time. Like, and this is a different hairstylist, but the way I part my hair changes, I think, and so the way they cut it, I always have like a few strands that like lean over. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's what the deal is. Okay, I'm reading a few books. This week is kind of a literary week for me. Like, I'm kind of excited. There's a book festival at the end of the week, which I think I'm going to do a separate vlog on, but I'm not sure yet. It might be easier if I just throw it into this vlog. So I think I'll probably do that because the posting requirements for it, I don't need to do a video, but I'll be there and I'll be filming stuff for Instagram, so I might as well just pop it into my vlog for the week. I say this now, I probably won't, but I would like to read like the nominees for the International Women's Prize in Fiction because there were some that really intrigued me that I'd never heard of. So anyways, reading that this week. And then I'm continuing on with Louise Penny's The Madness of Crowds. This one I've heard is slower than most of hers. And it's also a pandemic novel. So that will be very interesting because I haven't read much pandemic novels because I'm kind of like, but I always trust Louise Penny. And this is book 17, I believe, in the series. 18 just came out. So I would like to get this read by the end of the month. And then, yeah. But it is a pandemic novel and I'm a little anxious about that. For an arc that I'm reading, I have a lot of books right now that I'm reading. The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. She wrote For the Wolf, and this one is kind of about like death magic a little bit. I'm liking it. This is her, I think, adult debut. I was very excited that I got approved for the arc for this. So that's what I'm also reading on my Kindle. And then finally for the Modern Mrs. Darcy book club, Unlikely Animals. I've been super busy, so I have not gotten as much read, and this needs to be returned to the library by the 23rd. I need to finish it, and actually it might be the 21st. Ooh. I don't know if I can do that because I have another engagement, but we're talking with the author on the 23rd, so I do need to get this read. It is really good. So those are my reading plans for the week, and then I will just kind of take you along as I have a normal week. Again?
Gun. I got it done. I got it done.
Thank you.
What's down?
Okay, hi. So it is Tuesday and I just sold a bunch of my son's clothes at a consignment sale, so I had to go drop off all those clothes for that sale. And then I stopped at the library, returned some books, and then I picked up a couple books. I picked up a couple cookbooks, and then I got the newest In a Garden cookbook just for funsies to flip through. I started The Kingdom of the Wicked last month, and then I had to return it because I did it on my e-reader. So I want to pick this back up. I've heard this is just a really popular series. People tend to really like it. So that would be the first book. And then for Modern Mrs. Darcy Book Club, I grabbed Fault Lines. And then I started this video by sharing some books I was going to read this week. And then I was craving a romance novel, and I'm a mood reader. So I just decided to not read those books. I mean, I'm still reading them, and instead read Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. And I started the audiobook while I was working. And then I finished it on ebook because I have the e-copy through NetGalley last night. So I read it in a day. And it is it's a second chance romance. So a couple that they dated and something happens and you are in the present day and then it flips back to the past. And the heroine is a wedding planner and she's like really making it. She's finally making it and her career's taking off. She's planning the wedding for a politician's daughter and then her fiance who's like a movie star. And her ex-boyfriend is a florist and he knows the politician's daughter. So they come back together after like after breaking up through this wedding, and in the present day, it's a very slow burn. And then the past is just about their relationship back then, and it is very steamy. So if you like open door romances, this one's for you. If you don't, this might not be for you. But I loved it and could not put it down. I love the main hero, Elliot. He is just swoony and perfect. And there's just some really sweet moments in this book. So I read that in a day, like less than a day, because I started it in the afternoon and then finished it by bedtime. But yeah, so tonight my husband has soccer and I'm going to make dinner and probably clean because my house is a wreck since I've been like pulling everything like out to find baby clothes and get stuff listed and sold for this sale. So I'm probably going to do an audiobook. I'm reading The Villa for Jesse's book club, which is, I think, Sleep When I'm Dead. So I'm going to listen to that tonight and kind of clean. And I also got the hard copy at the library, so we will see. But then I will just continue to read the books that I was talking about. Good morning. So it is Wednesday. I'm having a pretty typical day today. I'm working, and right now my computer decided to do an update. So while I'm waiting, I'm just going to film this. But today yesterday I went to the library. I went to 2 libraries, picked up a bunch of books. I have gotten an Illumicrate package. So I'm just going to kind of do a haul video and just talk about some of my reading. I had to return Unlikely Animals to the library, so I had to re-up my hold for that. So I probably won't get that read this month, even though I love it. I'm kind of sad about that, but I had some review books that I had to prioritize. So I am waiting for that to come back in. I've been having a really good reading month, like one of my better months in a long time. So I'm so excited because there's still 2 weeks left. So I'll probably get at least 3 to 4 more books read. I just started Confidence Man on audio by Maggie Haberman. She's a really well-known and really good journalist. And she was assigned the Donald Trump presidency. That's not your toy. Come here. Can you give it? Okay. He is just, Gus, come here. You don't get to just keep being bad. Okay, someday I'll film a video without my dogs being bad. We'll see. But anyways, she was assigned the Donald Trump presidency, and she has kind of become an expert on him. So this is kind of like a overall view of his whole life and how he got to be where he meant to be. This is Gus. Yes, he's skinny. Yes, I'm aware. He has a lot of health issues. So if you're going to comment about that, don't. But anyways, that's the audiobook I started. And then we'll do Illumicrate first. So I got my last Illumicrate box, and I will say this one was really good. It came with a water bottle from, I want to say it was Madeline L'Engle. Yeah. A book too can be a star, a living star to light in the darkness, leading out into the expanding universe. I guess there's a typo on this, which seems fitting for Illumicrate, but there's that, which is nice. I can always use, more water bottles. This is really cool. So this box really has a theme right now, which I like. So this is a light, just kind of cute, a book light. And then it came with a little pin thing. Good Lord, this dog. And then the thing I really loved in this was, a little book jacket. I might actually put my Kindle in this just because it's cool, but everything fits a theme. I forget what the theme is, but the book, it's all this is a Chinese duology fantasy inspired by Chinese mythology. So this is the Song of Silver Flame Like Night, and there's gonna be 2 of them. The cover is gorgeous. The end pages are great. Just really pretty. And then the book, which I don't think I pulled this out to even look at it. Oh my goodness. So obviously it's got a lot of Chinese folklore in it. So I'm pretty pumped about this. This book sounds really good, and it's blurbed by Su Lin Tan. I've gotten a few books from publishers of late The first is The Naked Don't Fear the Water. This is an underground journey with Afghan refugees. I'm gonna try that again. An underground journey with Afghan refugees. So my church is working through this program called Immigrant Connections, and where I live, we're in a hub for travel. So we're in a desert too for refugee legal resources. And so our church is really looking to set up a center for refugees and immigrants. And I got this book to read because it's about a refugee, but also I have a friend who is actually going to be working within this program, and I'm going to give this to her afterwards. But it's just something I'm super passionate about, and I'm excited to help our church when we figure out what that looks like. So this is about Afghan refugee. And then I got Wasteland from Hachette, and this is The Secret World of Waste and the Urgent Search for a Cleaner Future. I'm always trying to reduce like our single-use plastic and everything in our home, trying to find more sustainable options. And so this book I'm really excited for, just because I'm looking for more information on how to do that and like to know the impact of what I'm using. And then I got a cookbook because it's me. This is A Splash of Soy. It is from Bloomsbury by Lara Lee. A cookbook on how to create authentic East and Southeast Asian flavors at home using common ingredients quickly and with minimal effort. I am excited for this. I just started kind of partnering with Bloomsbury. So they send like actual arcs of cookbooks, whereas my other partnership sends finished copies that I have with Abrams. And so these books don't really want to cook out of them as much just because of the format, but knowing that there's a final version coming, it's an arc, like I get it. And then I picked up 3 other books yesterday. So the first is The Twyford Code. I'm reading this on my Kindle through NetGalley, and I wanted to read this in hard copy because Janice Hallett is mixed media, and I just needed like the formatting to look a little different. Sometimes reading things on Kindle can be weird because the format isn't exactly how the author intended, and it tries, but it's just the format of a Kindle book, right? So I got that as hard copy. And then I got Scorched Grace, which one of my librarian besties recommended to me. It is a sister holiday mystery, and here's how she sold it to me. A queer nun who fights crime. Like, what isn't there to love? Okay, so Sister Holiday is more faithful than most, but she's no saint. When St. Sebastian's School becomes the target of a shocking arson spree, the Sisters of the Sublime Blood and their surrounding New Orleans community are thrust into chaos. Patience is a virtue, but punk rocker turned nun, Sister Holiday, isn't satisfied to just wait around for officials to return her home and sanctuary to its former peace, instead deciding to unveil the mysterious attacker herself. Like, it's stained glass. I cannot deal. But so multiple people at our library have read this, and they all liked it. So I'm like, okay, yup. And then I picked up The Villa. I am hybrid reading this and listening to it. This is for Jesse's book club, Sleep When I'm Dead, and I am really into it. I started it on audio and couldn't get into it, but then once I read it a little bit and kind of got the characters figured out, then I could handle it. And Gwen from Gwendolyn Kinsinger, she's like, that's the only way I do stuff. And at this point with audiobooks, I feel like that's the only way I'm doing stuff too. So this came and I'm really liking it. It'll probably be a quick read that I'll read real fast this week. So that's all I got for you right now. And we will continue on with this normal week in my life vlog. Hi friends, so it is Saturday and I didn't really vlog a lot yesterday, but I'm actually headed to the Des Moines Book Festival. I'm partnering with them to promote it today, so you will see some footage of this festival. My mom and I are going. My mom works for a winery, and so one of the sessions today is with a local author who talks about like true crime, and they're going to be serving or sampling wine, red wine, for a taste of the dark. So I'm going to help out with that, but then I'm also just going to be doing a lot of content. I am going to see the author of this book today. Also, Sequoia Nagamatsu is going to be there, Sarah Penner, and then Chris Beaujolain. For Des Moines, this is a pretty good festival for these authors. Des Moines is just small. We have a really, really great indie bookstore scene, but you know, it's just a small metro, and like for them to have a book festival is huge. So we're really excited. I am excited to see what is there. There's a ton of different like classes and stuff throughout the day, just fun stuff that we're just gonna kind of check out. I haven't really made a plan. We're just gonna see where the day takes us and have a blast. So I will pop back in with more footage later.
To use this negative space.
for today. I'm going to introduce her and introduce her book, and then she's going to read to us.
Good morning. So I did the Des Moines Book Festival yesterday, and it was so much fun. I got this new shirt, so it's the state of Iowa with books all over it, from my friend Megan, her store. I had so much fun. My mom and I went, and then I had a couple Bookstagram friends there, and there was a group, 5 of us that were the influencers, and so it was really fun to connect with them, and I know all of them because our community is pretty small. Because of our weather right now, going from 60 to snowing today, my voice is shot. My allergies just can't handle this. And so I excuse the voice, but I went to 2 author talks. So I saw Sequoia Nagamatsu, who wrote How High We Go in the Dark, and that's going to be the all Iowa read next year, I think. And so I'm really excited to read that. Him talking about it. That book is more of an exploration of grief than it is about a pandemic. And so he just really sold the book to me because of his intent behind it. And also how important it was for him to have Asian representation in books. So on Indie Bookstore Day, that's a book I would like to buy as I'm going around to my local indies. We actually have an Asian-owned bookstore here in Des Moines, and so I'm excited. That's where I would like to buy that book at. It's called Reading in Public. And then I went and saw No Violet Bulawayo for the book Glory, who is my author. That was the book that I got to review, and I'm still working through that book. It's so good, but I got it with a week in advance, and so I just can't read that fast, and that's fine. And it's deserving of all the hype. And her talking about it, because of her country and how volatile it is, and she's from Zimbabwe, and that's what the book is about. She really wanted to write it to empower her people. And she made a comment that someone once asked her, do you think you'll get arrested for writing this book? Which is just something that blows my mind, that people can be arrested for what they write. But then it really made me think about the current book bans in our country and how people are trying to criminalize thought and all of that. But she just, 2 things that she said that have really stuck with me is her call to action for us is to read dangerously. So reading should empower you. Reading should make you feel powerful. Reading should enlighten you into other situations. It builds empathy. It makes you travel the world. So read dangerously. What a powerful statement. And then she also said reading is power. When we read, we have power because we were learning. It's an act of defiance in certain countries. It's just so cool. So there's Sam. So I just loved that. It was so great. What a great experience. There were so many fun things to do yesterday. There were so many workshops. I served wine with my mom, and we just had a blast. It was really fun to see my friends, and I'm excited for whatever the DSM Downtown Des Moines USA has next year for the book festival. I obviously love reading, so I love that this was something I could do for my community, that I could be a part of, and I'm excited to work with them in the future. It was just a really fun experience. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this week. I hope this wasn't too boring, but seriously, so much fun. Also, toddlers are really fun. Anyways, okay, bye. It's my Triceratops.